to the inaugural episode of Rose Golden, a curation of creation. I am your host, Jelena, and I'm in pursuit of that Dolce Vita, real rose gold poppy. I don't get any sweeter. Hello. Kicking things off, I want to take a moment to let you know just what this show is about. You see here on Rose Golden, a curation of creation. It's just that. You see, we will just be taking a moment to curate things of the creative world, creative endeavors of all media. You know, it's definitely a podcast about liking things and letting others like things, and I think that's so important in today's popular culture. So it's certainly something I want to foster and just kind of help broadcast. So that being said, I want to take a moment to tell you just a little bit about the weekend here. Over the weekend there was the passing of Juice WRLD, known for his hit song "Lucid Dreams." R.I.P. to Juice WRLD. It's very tragic. So I just wanted to take a moment to not only acknowledge that and acknowledge not only how much he meant to others, but he certainly meant a lot to me. Dedicate this podcast to him, more and most importantly. Over the weekend, there was the release of the Ghostbusters trailer. Ghostbusters, new beginning, a new batch, a new generation. It's something like that. It's, but it looks cool. They got Paul Rudd in it. Who we know as Ant-Man, who we love as Ant-Man. He's got a show on Netflix, Living With Yourself. Haven't seen it. I hear good things, though. Paul Rudd, who I also love from Role Models. Great movie, that one. The movie also features Finn Wolfhard, from Stranger Things. Finn Wolfhard, very cool kid. Definitely helping carry that show. It's a very fun show. I like that one too. But yeah, people are excited about that. I'm pretty excited, I guess. We'll see how it all turns. It looks fun though, and I think that's always important. Looks very grandiose. Some of those shots of the farmhouse and stuff, just kind of wide open spaces, as the Dixie Chicks say. But yeah, that looks really cool to me. Looks really fun. 2019, what a year. What a year that has been. And again, coming towards the end of a decade. On social media, a lot of people have been posting, the decade in review. So, provided that Rose Golden, a curation for creation, being established in 2019, we certainly want to be able to take a look at a couple of things here today, and then kind of flash back 10 years ago, in 2009, just kind of what was going on, and in particular just what I was into then. It's a very me-centric podcast, but that stems from my wanting and needing attention. So, but not just that. No, I certainly I want this to be a safe space for people to feel comfortable, to feel like they're listening to a friend, because you know what? Hey, I am your friend, and as far as I'm concerned, you're mine too. We can agree on a lot of things. We can disagree on a lot of things. That's par for the course. Certainly, no two people are alike, and that's what makes us all so beautiful. And you beautiful people out there that are taking the moment to listen to this, certainly grateful to have your support as well as your attention. Definitely appreciate it. You're listening to Rose Golden, a curation of creation, the podcast, established in 2019, hosted by the real Rose Gold Poppy, Jelena. And we're back. Yeah, I was just thinking about the other day, what was I into back in 2009? I mean, it was quite some time ago. I think back to those days, and I think what I remember the most was just going to one of these South by Southwest shows in Austin, Texas, and seeing this hip hop group that I was really into, the Cool Kids. The Cool Kids out of Chicago, Mike English, Chuck English, Sir Michael Rocks, certainly one of my favorite groups. They were just so different from a lot of the hip hop that was coming out at that time. I remember they did a mixtape with the Cannon, Don Cannon. It was definitely one of my summer go-to mixtapes when I was listening to it on my iPod, which again, back in 2009. I guess that mixtape came out, maybe a couple of years back then. But it's certainly in the context of looking at the decade in review. But it must have been 2010, 2011 maybe. Still rocking that iPod. So yeah, it was something that we're still using then, which was kind of cool to see brought back in Baby Driver. Seeing him driving around with that iPod, still rocking those iPods, having a couple of iPods because they didn't hold all of the music you could want on there, but certainly a lot. Yeah, it was a really good one. It was when it comes to that particular mixtape, Don Cannon and the Cool Kids, When Fish Ride Bicycles, Weekend, was it Weekend Love? Weekend Girl, I think it was. That was just probably my favorite one on there. Pennies on the Ground. Hearing Ludacris jump on this mixtape, that was certainly special to me. I definitely popped, as us wrestling fans say it. Certainly incredible to hear. Ludacris, to me, has got to be one of the most versatile and innovative rap artists. And I think if I only had a complaint, it's that there isn't more Ludacris recorded and released for the masses, because I really do enjoy his stuff too. So hearing him on that was very, very cool. And those summer days back then, now, just love having all that free time. I certainly feel like the decade caught up to me. We're definitely older now. Definitely have a lot more responsibilities. We're, certainly working full time, aren't we? We're always trying to not only make the ends meet, but, there's all the grown-up stuff happening. So, another reason why we're doing this podcast, let's just go ahead and escape some of that stuff. That's what it's all about. So Cool Kids, listening to them. I remember they also had a song with Travis Barker, and they had a 3D music video. And that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was an Anaglyph 3D video. Seeing Travis Barker do his thing, seeing Chuck and Mikey do their thing as well. That song went pretty hard too. I really liked it. I think it's a tragedy that I feel like they've kind of been forgotten about. But that's such is life. That's how things work in the entertainment industry. Things come and go. They move on. But what is forever are the memories. A lot of memories here in 2009. Going forward, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. But circling back to 2011 in particular, Ultimate Spider-Man by Marvel Comics. Big things were happening then because, we had the death of Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and the introduction of Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Uh, that was something that was major. Certainly something major to me, and a storyline I grew to love incredibly, and was so happy when when they ended up announcing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and then seeing that, in theaters was pretty epic. To me, seeing Spider-Man Miles Morales, it was pretty epic. Being Latino and seeing a Latino Spider-Man, that's pretty major. Glory days, well, they'll pass you by. That's what Bruce Springsteen has taught us. And that's enough about my glory days. But I mean, there's just a little sampling of a couple of things that I was into back then in 2009, 2011, going forward. 2010, don't miss that one. Don't skip that one. That was in the middle, sandwiched between 9 and 11. But yeah, and also just a sampling of what's going to be on this podcast in episodes going forward. This is about curation of creation, celebrating all the different creations within all sorts of media, whether it be comics, comedy, professional wrestling. No topic, no media is off the table when it comes to this. And again, it's about a celebration. It's a chronicling. So that's certainly what we're doing here now. I wanted to take a moment to talk about one of the bands that I'm very passionate about at this time, a band called Haim. Haim, one of my favorite bands currently, Three Sisters, the Haim Sisters. I just think they're cool. I really, really enjoy their music. I love how it just blends some of those sounds of popular dance music of the 80s, kind of that I guess what turned into freestyle. And I'm thinking of the Haim song If I Could Change Your Mind. It had some of those elements where it almost reminded me of Taylor Dayne, Tell It to My Heart. So I thought, what better band to kind of take a moment to talk about and kind of bring to light. Not as if they aren't popular or don't have a spotlight at this time. It's just let me tell you what I like about them. So love the pop sounds. I would always hear when I heard about Haim these comparisons to Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac is another band that I just love, and I am just crazy about Stevie Nicks, and I love, not only the singles, but, certainly Rumors, end to end, one of the best albums of all time. So, hearing some of those comparisons, that's, it's pretty loaded, that's pretty major. Certainly a lot to live up to when you are compared to, such an iconic band. And, I could hear some of those elements there. I feel like sometimes the vocals of Haim can resemble that of Catherine McVie. So, I think it's kind of valid. But, Haim kind of stands in their own. It is a unique sound for what they are. To a degree, they're almost like this generation's Hanson brothers, I like Hanson. I think they're cool too, man. Bob. Please, more. That's bad. But yeah, no, I think they're so cool. Yeah, and Haim, pretty solid, debut album with Days Are Gone. I was listening to that one back in 2013, and I was going to school then at the University of Texas in Austin. Hook 'em. If you're not a Longhorns fan, that's okay. I forgive you. No, it's just I'm not a big sports person or anything like that. But yeah, I was going to school then, and I remember just singing to these songs just at the top of my lungs on my way to school. If I could change your mind, I would hit the ground running. Took time to realize that I never saw it coming. Yeah, and I remember parking in the C lot. Going to class. No different than I had other days. I was living off campus then, but I remember just coming out of class and coming to the parking lot, seeing just another car parked literally an inch away from mine. So getting into the driver door was just like impossible. It was not happening. I remember I had to climb through the window of the back seat on the passenger side and climbing through my car to get to the front, and then like trying to maneuver out. That was a nightmare. You talk about a 19-point turn, possibly a 32-point turn. It was crazy. But what guided me through it, what kept me at ease with some of the anxiety of just not only bumping someone else's car, messing up my car. I mean, this is my mode of transportation, man. I don't want to have to leave a note because some sucker just parked that close to me. It's just So Haim helped me through that. Helped me through that semester, and definitely helped me at ease with my job then, and I definitely hold fond to my memories of Haim. So Days Are Gone was an incredible album, and then Something to Tell You, their follow up. I mean, it was more of the same. And I love that. And I feel like, as much as I can appreciate and salute and applaud, evolution of artistry, sometimes I myself, much like others, you just kind of want to hear more of the same. You loved what you loved about the first go around. The second time around, you kind of want seconds of that delicious meal, and I feel like they really delivered on that without, betraying what it is to innovate. So that was really cool. Solid 2 albums. If you haven't heard them, I recommend listening to them, and if you have heard them, feel free to gush with me about them if you ever see me. Speaking of seeing, speaking of, you can speak to me. One of the things I wanted to do for Rose Golden, a curation of creation established in 2019, is a mailbag portion. I certainly would welcome and invite all listener feedback, any sort of listener topics, listener interests. I'm definitely here and happy to discuss that with you. Happy to hear from you. Happy to know that I am being supported by such wonderful people. So yeah, we'll definitely get that going in the days, weeks to come. So look forward to that. let's see. One of the things I wanted to touch on here, Wonder Woman, 1984. Wonder Woman 1984. They just dropped the trailer for this, and this looks incredible. Some of the action sequences look fantastic for this movie. I'm really excited. You got Gal Gadot, excuse me, coming back as Wonder Woman. She always crushes. She's amazing in anything that she does. I don't think I've seen a work of hers and thought, I don't know. I feel like she's definitely established a brand. One that I'm buying into, it's good. She's good. So Wonder Woman 1984, we got to see the return of Chris Pine, which is really cool, and I'm wondering just how that ended up happening, as everyone else's, I'm sure. But that's going to be really cool to see. I think it might have to do something with that the crystal that Pedro Pascal was holding, and Pedro Pascal, interesting seeing him hold a crystal and not the child, aka Baby Yoda. Hello, 2019. Hey, Baby Yoda, so cute. Oh my goodness. So I'm happy that that's something that came out of 2019 and of this entire decade. I mean, how are we not going to go nuts over that going into 2020, going forward? So Pedro Pascal, he's in it. Another person who has established a brand that is just like, I am into everything that this guy is doing. He was incredible in 999, that Ben Affleck movie that was on Netflix. I mean, don't get me started on Narcos. I mean, this guy, for me, is the show, And seeing him as Mandalorian, holy cow, well, we don't see him as, well, you know what I mean. He never takes the helmet off. This is the way. This is the way. So that's really cool seeing him there. Kristen Wiig, I'm excited to see more of her in this movie. How about, the how does it feel? Mixed, intertwined with the score of the movie. Like, as us wrestling fans say, I marked out over this. Like, I'm really excited. Like, this is really cool. I couldn't stop just singing that song after watching the trailer 7 times in a row. Holy cow, it just looks so fun. And then, Mall Culture, 1984, all of that, seeing that incorporated into this, revamping of the DC film universe. I'm really excited. It looks so fun. Earlier I mentioned the action sequences looking amazing. Did I just see her, ride a lightning bolt with the lasso of truth? It looks pretty sick. And then, of course, seeing Wonder Woman with the golden outfit. Oh, man. Yeah, I can't wait for that. So that's coming up in 2020. But at least for now, we got to satiate ourselves with that trailer. That is certainly my time here today. I definitely appreciate you all listening to the first episode of Rose Golden, a curation of curation, established in 2019, hosted by me, RealRoseGoldPapi, Jelena. You can follow me on Instagram at RealRoseGoldPapi, RealRoseGoldPapi. That's Papi. So I definitely look forward to seeing y'all, seeing your posts, seeing your reactions to the podcast. I'll definitely be posting this on YouTube, so look forward to that YouTube channel as well. at RealRoseGoldPapi. So feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to follow. Feel free to reach out. Let's just all be nice to each other, because, at the end of the day, it's about liking things and letting others like things. That's what we should really get to the heart of. So, again, this is Jelena, RealRoseGoldPapi, reminding everyone out there to stay rose gold.